Hi folks, my name is Mr. Kuchak and I am your art teacher. Before we begin, let me go over our class rules. We have 3 rules at Elk Lake. Be ready, be responsible, be respectful. We are ready in the art room when we come in, sit in our assigned seats, and get quiet so that we can learn about art. We are responsible in the art room when we follow directions and take care of our supplies, and we clean up any of our messes. We are respectful when we use kind words like please and thank you, and when we value other students' artwork. Supplies you will need for today's lesson. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to. Hi folks, today we are going to do some drawing. So we're going to start off with a circle. So we're going to start off with kind of a small circle. Once we have our small circle, we're going to put our pencil on the side. Now, of course, I'm using the Sharpie so that you can see it on my paper. If I draw with pencil with the lighting in here, you just can't see it. So you use a pencil, that way you can erase anything that you need to erase. Now, the next thing that I need to do is I'm going to put it on the side, and I'm going to come around, and I'm going to come back. Now, it kind of looks like Mario character Toad, but it's not going to be Toad. Once we have that done, then V, V, or A, A. Then we're going to do dot, dot, oval, oval. Now, one of the things we want to really do with our pig here is to make sure we don't give it a balloon animal neck. So what happens with that type of neck is after you draw out the face, what people will do with the body is they'll come in and they'll give it a really teeny tiny neck like this. Right there and right there. It looks almost like somebody making a balloon animal, or it looks like it's an ant, or it looks like a spider pig, or something else kind of coming through there. So we want to make sure that the neck is the right size for our animal. And the way that I do that is I start high and I end low. So I start high by the ears, I come out, down, and back, and I end low on the body. And then that way the head looks like it's fitting right into the body, and it actually looks like it has a little bit of a neck inside there instead of being all squished up and like an ant. The next thing we want to do is a little squiggly tail. And then on the bottom, we're going to use U, 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 U. So U, 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 and then up, 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 up. The next thing we want to do is using that same kind of number 3, number 3, number 3, and in that way our little friend is in a mud puddle or a puddle just splashing around having a good old time. Okay, next one. This one's going to start off with, instead of a circle, we're going to start off with an oval. Once you have your oval, we're going to go up, up. We want to make sure that they're the same. Up, up. C, C. Rainbow Connect. CC, Rainbow Connect. Dot, dot, circle, circle. Then for our cow's body, once again, we want to start high, come out, down, and back. Then we need a tail, kind of like an elephant's tail. Comes down, and it's a little bit of fluff on the end. Now for our legs, we're going to come down, over, up, and add a line. We want these all the same. We don't want one longer or shorter than the other. Down, over, up, with a line. Down, over, up, with a line. Down, over, up, with a line. Now this way you have your little calf here. If you want to put designs on there, easy ones are, if we go back to like our number 3, we can use the number 3, number 3, number 3, number 3. We can even do some designs on the legs. And what I always like to do with this, just to make it a little bit more realistic, is to add some hay, some grass. Just chewing on some food there. That way we have all that ready to go. Now the next thing that I wanted to do was go over one more animal. So let me see where I can fit it. I think I can fit it right in here. And that way I can show you how to do a building in the background. So I'm going to get started with a circle. A V, and another circle. Then I come down, down. So circle, circle, V, equal, equal, and then I'm going to do like an oval body. Three, M, and then we need some feet. So I'm going to do 2 lines down, and then I'm going to do a V with a squiggle, V with a squiggle. That way you have your little farm goose there. You can even add another line in there. The nice thing about drawing with shapes is we can make things smaller if we need to. So if we wanted to put some little ones behind it, we would draw it the same way. Circle, circle, add a V, equal, equal, add your body, 3, M, add your feet, connect, connect, and that way you could do a whole bunch of little ones behind it. And all we did from the big one to the little one was change our sizes. So you can do as many of those as you want by just changing the size. That's why we draw with shapes, because then we can make things smaller, we can make things bigger. Now, the last thing I want to put in here is a little bit of a barn. So for me to do a barn, I'm going to start off with the letter A. Now the trick with this barn, the whole trick is we need this size over here, but it's got to go the same way. If we go this way, which is like this one, it's just not going to work. So my trick is I take my hand, I slide it over until I figure out where I want it, and then I just draw that same line. So I have this line and I have this line. Those two are the same because they're the same side. Then I connect. I'm going to connect, and then I go down, down, down. Now I try to keep these two smaller than this one. And then I connect. Since that's hidden, I'm just going to leave it behind there. Since that's hidden, I'll leave it behind there. And that way I have the front of my barn. I can add my door. Let's put the door open. If you wanted to have a hay loft, you could have that too. If you wanted to add a window on the side of the barn, or if you wanted to make it look like wood, you can come in with some lines. And if you wanted to really add some designs in there, you could add some squiggles to make it look like the wood grain. Maybe there's some knots on the wood. If it was a metal roof and you wanted like the lines on the roof, you can just kind of come in, add those lines right in there. If you wanted to add some wood on the front, you could do that too. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a line back here so that all my animals are on the ground, that they're not kind of floating around. And then we can talk a little bit about some fencing. So to do a fence post, you want to do an oval, oval, down, down. The trick here is if you draw something circle, like the nose. We're looking right into it, kind of like a straw. But as we turn, see the way it becomes more ovally? It looks more like an oval. I didn't squish the cap. I'm not able to push that in like that. I just turn, and as I turn, it becomes more oval shaped. And that's what we're doing to the post there. Now these posts, maybe it's barbed wire. So if you do barbed wire, you can have a line across, maybe a line down near the bottom. And then I use just a letter X on top to make it look sharp and pokey. If you wanted to do something else, let's get some more fence posts in here. So I'm going to do some more ovals over here so that I can show you a couple different types of fence. I'm going to come down. I'm going to come down. I'm going to come down. Now, if I just wanted an electric fence, I could just do 2 little lines through there. I can even do like little Z's, like zzz, zzz, like don't get too close, little baby calf, you're gonna get zapped. So we can do those little like zap marks. If I wanted it as like a field fence with the wires through there, or like a hog panel, I can go through and I can add those. Or if I had like a 3-rail fence, which is what we have on our farm, I can come in and I can add the rails right inside there. So it's up to you what else you add in there. The only other thing that people ask sometimes is, how do I draw a hay bale, especially when, you know, it's 3D, because it's kind of like you're looking at a box, if you think of it as a box of hay. So if you're looking at it as a corner, you have these weird angles in there. If you're looking at it straight, then you're just going to have that front edge. So if it's just looking straight on, you can just do a rectangle, maybe add a little bit of a line to make it look like it is tied, and then just add some hay kind of like in the sides to make it look rough. You want that texture. If it's a round bale, you know, a lot of times round bales are wrapped up. You can just have them that way, or maybe you add like the spiral inside because it's all rolled up. Now, if you're looking at it sideways, that's where it gets tricky. So the first thing we do is we draw a square for the square bales, and then I'm going to come up here, right up here, and I'm going to draw a 7. So square 7, and then I connect and connect. That way I have the front and I have that. If you want to see the top, add a diagonal and then connect. Whoops, that didn't go the right way. Let me see what I did. Give me 1 second and I'll get another piece of paper to show you. Sorry folks, I'm drawing upside down so that you can see it the right way because of the way that I have my camera set up. So sometimes when I draw stuff, I think I'm drawing it the right way, and then when I go to connect stuff, it happens. It happens to everybody. So with this, my square 7 should have been done this way. So the bottom, we connect, the middle connects, the top connects. And that way we have kind of our 3D bale. If you wanted to do a 3D round bale, do an oval, and then figure out what side you want it on. Okay, I'm gonna have it over here. So I use this part of the oval, that smile, I put over here, and then I connect, and I connect. And that gives me kind of my round bale. What you want to avoid, don't do something like this, where you do an oval and a smile, and then you get scared and you kind of come in like a big old push pin. We don't want the push pin. So remember, if it's a cylinder, the sides are going to come right up and they're going to touch. They're not going to get scared and go in. So once again, if you're having a hard time with the bale, you can do a square 7, or you could do a square square. Sometimes people get used to drawing them square square, and then you just connect your sides together, and that'll make it look 3D. And then you would just have to erase the ones that are behind there. So I would just erase those and that one. It's a lot more erasing. That's why I like square 7. Square 7, connect, connect, connect. And that way you have your hay bales. You can do your little knots on there so that it's all squared up. You can do some texture on the end to make it look rough. You can have some longer pieces of hay. Maybe you have some hay sticking out. Maybe you have some hay on the top. And that way you have your hay bales. So today you can work on drawing out a farm. If you're looking for things like tractors and other vehicles, I do have another video on vehicles that you can take a look at, and you can feel free to add that stuff in there. The only other thing that our picture really needs, maybe some hills, maybe some mountains, and the way that we would do that is you would just kind of come in and we could add in some hills behind here. We can even add in something like some clouds, maybe even the sun. Maybe it's a nice spring day and everything's starting to come back on the farm. If you're going to do some grass, you know, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If you wanted to make this into a pond instead of just a mud puddle, maybe that's why the geese are going there, and you want cattails. If you come up and squiggle and go straight up, you will have some cattails. You can even do lily pads in there too. What you want to avoid though are dead bug legs. So dead bug legs, if you do a pond like this, are when people do all the grass and stuff pushed down. If the sun is in the sky, that's where everything that's green is going to be growing up towards it. So if you have your hay, if you have your cattails in there, have them grow straight up. You don't want them going out sideways. I understand it might go on top of something. That's overlapping. That's a good thing to do. All right, have a great day. Can't wait to see what you make. Bye, everybody.